Hey, thanks for tuning in. So I want to point a few things out with this unit, show you how to get the best use of no latency by creating scenes. And there's one or two little shortcuts to get into the unit, as well as being able to scroll through the entire spectrum of programs without changing the program you're on, and we're going to get to that a little later. So let's look at one that I created yesterday. And of course, you can go into the stomp mode. This is the screen we usually see with the effects. And I programmed this so I've got distorted amps, and then they shut off for the clean amps. I have it frequency, modulation. This turns on distortion with a gate, and delay and reverb on and off. I used to call this the secondary editing screen. I still like to call it the secondary editing screen. They call it the stomp screen because this is where you stomp. And you can see which foot switches these are assigned to, which is super handy. And then I programmed this so it's bank 1 and bank 6 and 7 is minus going down banks and going up banks. And I'm gonna show you what's cool about that. So there's two ways to get into the scene creation. Go into edit, and then you're gonna go into this stomp editing mode. You can either press this little button and then foot switch settings, or I like to just take a shortcut and hold down and it brings you there. Foot switch 1, I have it turning on dirty amps and shutting off clean amps. And that's just done by, and it's the same process using the software as it is with just hands-on with the unit. I was going to do the software, but well, either way. Frequency on and off, modulation on and off. This one kicks in the gate and the distortion. This one, and you just tap on them to turn them on, to turn them off. This is delay and reverb. 6 is minus bank, foot switch 7, plus bank. And I'm going to show you what's cool about those banks in a second. Make sure you save your work, always. You always want to save it or it'll get lost. So this is the stomp mode. If you're playing live and you go to your program, let's say you're over here, and then you get to your program and you go into there, it's nice to see which ones are getting turned on and off, but you have no idea what foot switches you have to go to that stomp editing screen. And when you're playing, you're not going to be able to press on that, right? So you can either leave it on. Let's see if this works. You can either leave it on, and then let's say you're down here. So now you're here. Yeah, so you can do with the stomp editing screen. But if you like to switch between the two, you can just hit this lock button. Brings you right there. So that's handy. So let's go through some of these. So let's look at the banks. You can assign whatever you want to bank 6 and 7. Or not bank 6 and 7, but we're so used to using these to go up and down by bank. But you can assign these to be anything you want in the assigning window here, the stomp editing screen. You can make them whatever you want, but because I originally had this as delay and then reverb, you can put them in any order you want. We just kind of came up with a generic. But the cool thing about those banks being there is I could be in this screen or in the editing screen or in the program screen or patch. So let's say I'm in patch screen. If I'm in patch screen, I'm moving. So, right? But if I'm in, let's say that I'm in the secondary screen here, right? I can use the bank to go up or down, and I don't change my sound. So I can shop for presets and banks. I'm shopping live on stage. I can do this, and nobody's going to know that I'm busy shopping for that special lead guitar part that I want until you initiate it. We're in Who's Me, right? If I'm in program mode or patch mode, same thing. I'm scrolling up and down in the banks. If I'm in editing mode, it brings me to the stomp editing screen and right to what foot switches are assigned to it, and it's not changing. You get the idea. And it doesn't change until I change it. All right, rock on.